Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going through another £200 worth of 10p's, looking for the alphabet 10p's. I'll show you the progress we're making so far. This is my 2019 book. You can see we haven't got many. We've got one in each panel though. We've got G, we've got L, we've got R, we've got U, and then in the 2018 book we've got ACE, LM, hang on, L, M, oh no, H, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, S, V, X, Y, and Z. So fingers crossed, today we'll find some new ones. But I'll be answering more questions of yours that were submitted on my giveaway videos. So let's, without further ado, get started on these coins. So let's jump into the questions. These are the last of the questions from my 20k subscriber giveaway. So we are rapidly running out of questions from that video, so we're moving on very, very soon. This question comes from Samsung5256, asks what my favourite pre-decimal coin is. I quite like sixpences for some reason, I don't know why. I think they're really neat. Jack B. Barracks asks, what's the one thing you've been told that stuck with you in life? My dad always told me that it didn't matter how successful, this is to myself and my brother, it didn't matter how successful we were, it didn't matter how rich, poor, what we ended up being, as long as we were nice, polite people, that's all that mattered. And that's what's kind of stuck with me, I think. I try to be polite to everyone. Richard Harris asks, what error coin would you like to own the most? So there's the cracked yoke £1 coin. I think you can get £2 coin as well, where this is like the central, because obviously you got the two different parts of it, and this bit has sort of cracked open a bit. It looks like it, you know, like when you're frying an egg and it cracks and you get the yolk over the white bit of the egg. I think they look really cool, but I've never seen them, never had one. Shawneen Burke asks, have you got your eye on any of the new £2 coins? Man, I get all the new £2 coins when they come out. I can't help myself now. Simon Hercombe asks, do you like black pudding? Yeah, I don't mind it. I like having a fry up in the morning. A little bit of black pudding is quite nice. I wouldn't want to eat tons and tons and tons of it though. George Dodson asks, what do you think the next innovation in science will be? Good question. Again, lots of people have spoken about Alan Turing being on a coin or commemorated in some way. I don't know. There's so many sort of things that it could be. Someone's even said Margaret Thatcher for the Mr. Whippy ice cream. I can't see that happening if I'm honest, but yeah, I don't know. Steve Shaw asks, the ring on your right hand, does it have a meaning? It does. It has a little meaning. But I'm not going to give it away. Most of you guessed, to be fair, by now. Ollie Streets asks, what's your opinion on Brexit? I think as a nation, we are getting sick of it. We are tired of it dominating the news, television programs, things like that. I think most of us just want it over and done with now, which isn't how I voted. I was pro Remain. I class myself as a European. So yeah, but at the end of the day, the vote was the vote. I think the thing that people keep banging on about is a second referendum. Even as a Remainer myself, an ardent Remainer, if we had a second referendum, what would that mean? Yes, more people this time wanted to remain, if that was the case, but then you're not honouring that original vote? I don't know. I'm so glad it's not any of my business to sort that whole mess out. Alric asks, what film series do you like? So I quite like, I love watching films. My favourite film series is Star Wars, but I don't know. I quite like some of the older Tarantino films. Apart from Kill Bill, that was a bit overly gory. I like films that make you think, sort of like psychological thrillers, rather than horrifically gory films like take Saw for instance. That's just a gore fest. That's not great. I'm not interested in watching films like that. But like The Silence of the Lambs or Hannibal Lecter trilogy, that was amazing. I absolutely loved that. And I think, have I finished watching? I can't remember. The Hannibal TV show as well with Mads Mikkelsen was amazing. But yeah, I'll watch any kind of film given the time, if I'm honest. There was a year when I had an unlimited pass to the cinema, and I would go and see practically every film that was released. It was amazing. I loved it. I don't like foreign films that have been subtitled though. That drives me around the twist. I've watched a few of them. They're alright, but I'd much rather just sit back, lay back and enjoy a film. The only films I don't really like are sort of like these slapsticky American rom-coms. They don't appeal to me. Sidders Gaming asks, would you want a Wallace and Gromit coin? Definitely. I think that would be amazing. So Wallace and Gromit was something that I used to watch a ton of when I was a kid. So to see them commemorated on the coin would be amazing. I'm trying to think, what would you even do as the design? Maybe them and a little rocket, and so maybe the coin is like the peephole in their rocket, and you can just see them sat inside with their crackers. And they didn't have cheese because they're going to the moon to get cheese, weren't they? So yeah, I don't know. Witchmouth BTC asks, if you were allowed to have any music in the background, what would it be? So I've got the same track. I've always had the same track that plays in the background. It's mainly down to I want a track that's long enough that it's not repeated 20 times in a video, but something that isn't overpowering. It's just something nice and relaxing. Music that I like as well. It's quite important that my videos have music that I enjoy on it as well. And I just haven't found another track that sort of fits my sort of criteria. So like one that I'm allowed to use on YouTube without getting blocked or whatever happens if you put copyrighted music on your videos. But something equally like, I think it was Muzak, I think they called the genre. And I don't mind that playing in the background. It's not music that I would put on and listen to if I was listening to music, but the music I would turn on and listen to my own free time is all copyrighted, so I can't use that. But I might be able to on Twitch actually now I think about it, so don't know. But any kind of music, again, some sort of like Rat Packy, crooners kind of music, that's the kind of stuff that I listen to when I just want to chill out and relax, so maybe that. Paula Self asks, where do you get all your information from? Well, I've been doing these videos for over a year now, so a lot of learning what coins are scarce, what coins are worth money, what they're worth. It's just through practice, through doing 2 videos a week on the 50p's and a £2 hunt and a £200 10p hunt. It all just slowly works its way into my brain. And the world coin hunts, I've done 40 of them now. That's 40 weeks of looking through world coins. So again, that's some of the information is retained, but a lot of it just goes straight back out the other ear. But originally it was using Change Checker, and I don't say that just because I've worked with them, because I genuinely had screenshots of their scarcity index, the chart or the pyramid with the rarest one at the top and the most common one at the bottom. Had that copied on my screenshot of that of the 50p's, the Olympics, the non-Olympics, and the £2 just saved on my phone, so that I knew when I was finding coins I could go, that one is down the bottom, don't want that. That one is all the way at the top, I really want that. So yeah, that's just how I learnt, but I couldn't recommend their website more for information on UK coins. Greg Peacock asks, what's your favourite channel in Discord? So yes, we've got a Discord server, which you can click the link down in the description to join. What about my favourite channel in there? I mean, I enjoy jumping into voice chat in the evenings when I'm free and chatting to either the regulars that are generally around, or people that are joining the voice channel for the first time, so meeting someone and having a nice chat with them about their collection, things like that is quite fun. It's nice to get to know people, but I don't know, I think I get very envious looking at the world coin chat, because I'm always seeing people with coins from countries they don't have, or coins I've never seen before. So I get a bit envious looking at that. But I don't know, because I do every day. I scroll through and see what everyone's posting and everything's like their find of the day. That's quite a fun one to look at, because obviously you guys tune in to see what I've been finding, and it's nice to see what you guys are finding. So yeah, and then also the non-coin chat's quite fun as well. Some of the mad stuff that gets posted in there is quite funny to read or interesting. Daisy asks, plain, digestive or chocolate? Oh, it's got to be chocolate. It's got to be chocolate. James LFC 11 asks, are you a fan of Lord of the Rings? Not really, no. I've never watched a whole Lord of the Rings film through in its entirety without falling asleep or switching off or just not completing it. I did try and watch it a couple of years ago when Patrick, my youngest brother, was he was old enough to start watching them, and he asked if I would watch them with him, and I watched the first one, and it just took so long. And it was just, they were in that little hobbit town for it felt like half an hour, and I got as far as they're climbing up a mountain and Christopher Lee sings at the mountain, causes an avalanche. I was like, no, I'm done, can't watch this anymore. Which is a shame, because I love Christopher Lee and I love Ian McKellen, and it does look very sort of, the cinematography of the films, the bits and pieces I've seen look really, really nice, but I just couldn't watch the whole thing all the way through in its entirety. Ooh, we got one. S for Stonehenge. It's a 2018. Woohoo! Jojo Wiley asks, apples or bananas? Oh, apples definitely. Bananas, they're alright, but they're a bit mushy. Whereas I like a nice sort of, not sour but sharp green apple. I would go for. Builderon asks, do you want any Beatles coins? I'm not a massive fan of the Beatles. The music doesn't really appeal to me, but I can understand why they are significant in UK history. There are other UK bands, musicians that I prefer that I would love to see on coins first, but if they ended up releasing a Beatles coin, I wouldn't be surprised. Terry Robson asks, what is meant by bunk and proof? So bunk is brilliantly uncirculated, so that is made not for the collectors, not for general circulation. They come in like the little packs you get from the Royal Mint. Proof is, I think it's to a higher standard of, again, brilliantly uncirculated, so not intended for circulation. It's a higher standard. I think it might be minted, struck more than the brilliantly uncirculated ones, and I think proof have like a frosted effect on it as well. That's off the top of my head what I think, but I've been wrong in the past. Nationwide Coin Hunt asks, if there was a coin with 100,000 mintage and you found them all, would you put some back into circulation? As an obsessive hoarder, I want to say no, but I know that the right thing that I should do is yes, I should. And I would probably do giveaways with them. But 100,000 of one coin, any coin of that with that denomination, is going to be a lot of money to be sat under my bed, if I'm honest. So I don't think I would keep 100,000 of any coins, just because that would be a serious amount of money, I reckon. Adam Cato asks, pancakes, savoury or sweet, and what topping? Pancakes got to be sweet, hasn't it? What would you put in a savoury pancake? Like mashed potato and gravy? That sounds horrible. But no, lemon, sugar, and maple syrup. Or maybe honey as well. Not as well, instead of, depending what you got in your cupboards. Something nice and sweet and fresh. Josh Goes Coin Hunting asks, do you have a penny black stamp? I don't actually know. And yes, lots and lots of you keep asking, when am I going to do my video about my stamps? I have them out of storage. I just haven't had the time, because it'll take a fair amount of time to record the video, but also because I've got them in, like, they're not albums, but they're like album pages where they are stuck on with hinges. I'm not quite sure what the best way to record that would be, because I've got thousands and thousands of pages and some pages have only got one stamp, and one page will have tons of stamps on it, so I have no idea what the best way to do the video of that is, because in the past I created this channel to make stamp videos, and they did appallingly no one was interested in watching them, so I stopped doing that. And it's a return on the investment of my time. If I was to break down every single country's stamps that I've got, you've probably got 5 episodes worth of UK stamps there, but that's a lot of time recording, that's a lot of time editing to put it up, for it to then probably flop because people weren't interested in the stamps. I don't think as many people would be interested in watching them now, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm not sure yet, so I've got to figure out what the best way to record that would be. Onyx Gaming asks, have you found a 2019 pound coin yet? I haven't actually, no. I've still got my eyes peeled. I'm sure at some point I will find one though. Stevo71 asks, are you an adrenaline junkie? No, not in the slightest. Anything that people, so it's, if you ask me to do something that I know is going to scare me, my instinct is going to be no. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to jump out of an aeroplane. I don't want to go bungee jumping. I don't want to go swimming with sharks. I'd rather sit in my room and sort out my coin collection, which is very, very sad. But it's the truth. I just don't. That doesn't interest me too much. I don't mind like roller coasters. That they're quite fun, but that's about as much adrenaline as I need in my world. Mr. Robot asks, have you considered making a stamp collecting channel? Yes, it didn't work. Sorry. E-Gaming asks, what camera do you use? I use a Canon EOS 80D. That's this camera here. Nick T asks, did Boba Fett escape the Sarlacc pit? Good question, actually. So in the old canon, was it Dengar? The bounty hunter rescued him from the Sarlacc pit, and he lived on and became the Mandalore, and was still kicking around like age 70, 40 years after Return of the Jedi, one in the old timeline before Disney bought Star Wars and wiped that clean. But I don't know if he did actually. I couldn't tell off the top of my head. I hope he did, because he'd be a cool character to resurrect in a future film, TV show, that kind of thing. But because we've got The Mandalorian coming out, I think end of this year, which I'm really, really excited to watch. And I've got to get myself a Disney Plus account or whatever that thing is called. Ooh! Alphabet letter number 2. Q for queuing. What year is it going to be? 2018. Very nice. Stunning coin. Tom Wigg asks, where do you think the saying "standing on the shoulders of giants" came from? So it's an Isaac Newton quote, and it's to the effect. Again, I'm not going to put it as eloquently as others could put it, but he was saying that his advancements in science is all through standing on the shoulders of giants. So everything he discovered or got an understanding of was because people before him had built that foundation that he went from, essentially. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure someone in the comments will be able to put that a lot more eloquently than I did. But he was also Master of the Mint, so it makes sense to have a quote from him on the coins as well. Brogan asks, do you count the coins you're paying back by hand or with scales? So I bought a coin counting machine a few months ago. I did make a video of it to show you guys, and it has cut down the amount of time I spent recounting coins phenomenally. It used to take about 2.5 to 3 hours to back up just my week's hunts. Now with the same amount of coins that I hunt, doubled because I'm doing my live streams over on Twitch tomorrow at 6 PM. I've doubled the amount of coins I'm going through, and it only takes about 40 minutes to get through them all. So it's been a massive time saver, because that was one of the worst parts of making these videos, was having to hand count £1,200 worth of change every week. Chris Turnbull asks, do you ever think about creating more catchphrases? No, not really, because the things that become catchphrases are things that I would just say. So Holy Toledo is something I would always say. What else do people say? I say a lot of. Off the top of my head is another one, or crumbs as well. They're just things that I would generally say. So it's not about artificially creating something for the purpose of saying it. It's just something that I would exclaim in anyway. Warhammer is Life asks, favourite subject in school? Business studies. I had phenomenal teachers both in secondary school, in college, and then when I went on to university, again, lecturers that were very, very awe-inspiring, that made me want to pursue the subject. Ryan Gowdy asks, how do you know you exist? How do I know I exist? Because I'm me. I don't know that you guys all exist. I can only know because I'm in my head. But isn't it, I think, therefore I am? I don't know. That's what I reckon anyway. I'm real. I don't know about you guys. Ryan Jane asks, favourite Chinese food? Beef chow mein. Pink Pineapple asks, if you were to have any different coloured eyes, what would they be? Purple. I love purple, hence colour of my shirt. Dave Jones asks, if you could be in a TV game show, what would it be? So I always used to love, I can't remember what the game show was when I was a kid, and they would go through this house that had been built up and they just destroy it, trying to find things. What was that TV show called? The Fun House or something? I always wanted to be on that show, but I'd be too scared to go on a, like the Krypton Factor, or I was trying to think what a current sort of challenge ones, like the Cube, is that still a thing? Or the Chase, or one of these quizzes. I love watching quiz shows at home. I would hate to be on the quiz show and make a bonehead of myself. Harris Golden asks, favourite Commonwealth Games £2. I like the Welsh one, the Commonwealth Games Wales. It's just, I think the flag is really, really neat in that tiny little circle. Mad Lad Miser asks, would you rather circulated Kew Gardens or Golden Isaac Newton? Golden Isaac Newton. Clutcher Killer asks, do you have any sovereigns? Nope, they're too expensive. Sammy B3W14 asks, do you have an EEC 50p? I'm lucky enough to have two of them. I went to the bank, took out, they said they had some older coins. Would I like them? I said, yeah, sure. And unbelievably, there were two EEC larger 50p's. And for those of you that are thinking, that they're ones that are scarcer than the Kew Gardens. So, but they're not in circulation anymore. But not only that, there's a whole bunch of proof coins. I did upload the video of that, so you can go back and watch that. And last question is from Yarek Gorkovenko. I apologise. Asked, do you think the UK should have used the Euros? No way, Jose. You can keep your mitts off of our British pounds. So again, like I said earlier in the video, I was pro Remainer. I still think that there is reforms that need to be done within the European Union to make it a great organisation that it could be. I think the problem is with the EU that, and lots of people have said, the biggest problem with it is that it's trying to centralise government, it's trying to centralise policy to the extreme, to the point where they're trying to, well, they set Italy and Greece's budget, yeah, albeit because they had a bailout, but they wanted to start setting budgets across the European states, which I don't believe is the right thing to do. I believe in a country's sovereignty, essentially. I don't want it to become the United States of Europe, but as a trading body, as a body like with Interpol and all the other sort of fantastic things that the European Union does. I think that's amazing. I'm a firm believer that economic migration, so the people coming over to the UK to work, to then pay their taxes in the UK, to then spend their earnings in our shops, raising VAT through their purchases. Well, I don't think there's a problem with that. Of course, there's a problem with people that come over illegally, or people that don't contribute to the economy, but illegal migration is by nature illegal. So leaving Europe, the European Union will not stop illegal migration because they're doing it illegally. So yeah, that's my 10 cents on it. But equally, I feel awkwardly in the position where we need to abide by that decision that was made back in 2016, because the problem is it's such an even split, essentially 50-50, that if you even had your second referendum, that whether it came out Remain as the winner again, or Remain as the winner, or again came out as Leave, it's only going to be by that fractional margin again. So in my mind, because it was such a big decision, there should have been it needs to get at least 75% either way before we do anything, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a politician. It's not my job. I'm probably digging myself a bigger and bigger hole here. So before I hit bedrock, I'm going to finish these questions. So next time we'll have new questions from whatever giveaway came after the 20k giveaway. I don't know. But we'll be back to that. So with that, we'll get back to the coins. So there we go. There's our finds from today. We've got a 2018 S, a 2018 Q, and a Gibraltarian Eurofort from 2002. So there we go. Nothing new for the books, unfortunately, but I'm always happy to find an alphabet 10p. So all that leaves me to do now is thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for more coins. Bye!